family. I had just received my GED probably a little while after. Excuse me, let me move this camera over some. I had just received my GED probably a few months prior to when I met the officer who I actually had my daughter with, and we was actually married at one time. Once I, released, we stayed together and things. But before all of that happened, I had scored for my GED. I was happy, family. It was 1999. I'll never forget. The same year we thought the world was going to end. You know how everybody's like, the world going to end in 99, But I was 19 years old, family. I was 19 years old. And I actually got a chance to graduate with my class. My class was class of 99. But I actually graduated a few months later because I had to do my GED. I took the GED test the first time and I missed it by 2 points. And I had to take it again, and I ended up passing it and exceeded more than what I needed to actually get the GED. But once I got my GED, things started to change. It was a classification officer named Mike Jones. I'll never forget because, Mike Jones was big then. Who? Mike Jones, who? You know what I'm saying? And I remember, this parole officer that was inside the prison, the white guy, cool, laid back. His name was Mike Jones. And Mike Jones was a cool guy. He was fair. I can't say that he was a cool, fair guy, man. And he took a liking to me, man. He said, man, you got your GED. I want to give you a good job. So he helped me get a good job at the unit at that time. Young, gave me working in there. I was working actually in the infirmary. So, I pretty much going in there, me and like 2 more people, we was cleaning it up, throwing stuff away. We was pretty much just maids. That's pretty much what we was. Man-made, we'll pick up because we was able to move heavy stuff around that needed to be moved around for the doctors or the nurses. But pretty much we were just, we kept things clean. That's pretty much what we did. So, it was one day I was going down to the infirmary. I'll never forget. I went to work one day. Someone had called in, so they called me to come in, but it wasn't really my time to work at that time. So I'm like, man. So my guy, I forgot what happened. I don't know if he got sick or something. But anyway, they called me in, and there was a new officer at the door, family. I never forget, like it was yesterday. So, I seen her and I looked at her, and how, we man. So especially, I've been incarcerated at that time since 96 and it's 99. So, to see a woman, you're always excited, you know what I mean? So, I looked at her, she was cute and had a little booty on her, you know what I mean? I'm like, oh, you know what I mean? She was kind of cute. So I'm like, all right, so I asked her name. She's like, oh, my name is Miss Cooper, so I'm like, okay. So, we did our job throughout that day, and I was in there, and I always mess with the other nurses, just, laughing and talking to them. And they was pretty cool too. I can't say that. They'll bring me a little food in from the free world, and, we'll just talk and chop it up. And I remember one of them was pregnant. She used to let me rub her stomach, and she was like, Joe, come rub my stomach. My baby kicking. And every time I get ready to rub her stomach, family, the baby won't kick no more. I tell her, now I think your baby racist because he won't kick for me. I used to tell her that was a white nurse. She was cool as a fan. I can't remember her name, but I met a few of them that was cool that I actually went and visited a couple of them when I got out, just friends, just seeing, speaking to them, like they was real, real good people. And that end of that day after being in the infirmary, I was talking to her. We was laughing, joking. I learned a little about her. She told me what her first name was, that she was actually from the town of Newport. And, she wanted to, try something new. It really was an infatuation for her, I believe. She wanted to do something different. It wasn't a whole lot of money in it at that time, because at that time, the prison I was in Arkansas, but it was a private prison called Whacking Hut. It was called Whacking Hut. And at that time, it was a private prison. I believe they was out of Texas. But the state of Arkansas ended up taking them over, and it ended up turning into the Grimes unit, which is now the Grimes unit in Newport, Arkansas. But during that day, like I said, we was talking and conversating, and close to the end of that day, where when the shift was getting ready to change, I got ready, because normally we'll leave and go back to the barrel right before the shift change to make sure the count is good, and then they'll let us back out. Well, when we was getting ready to leave, I felt so much of a good vibe. I'm like, shoot, I'm gonna shoot my shot. So I was like, hey, what if I get your address or something, shoot you a little letter or something, And she was like, I got an address. You can write this address. So she gave me an address to a friend that wasn't connected to her. And so we was, became pen pals that way. And we wrote for a minute, nice conversations. Plus I seen her on the facility. I was seeing her, when she came to work and things like that in different bars, and I see her going around, and if I know that she was somewhere, I go by and check on it to see her or whatever, but we didn't make it obvious in front of anyone. But after we started getting a little tight and getting a little close, she was like, you know what, I'm finna get another job. I really ain't making no money doing this. And I want to start coming to see you. I ain't really tripping on this job, because she really wasn't making no money doing it. It was more of an experience. So she's like, I'm going to go do something else. And I think she was starting to do CNA or something like that. I can't remember exactly what it was, but she got approved on my visitation list, family. And she had sent me a few pictures. And at that time, I had shared them with, how you have a couple guys in the bar, but not a lot. Just a couple people you kind of cool with. Let them know what you're doing. Man, I got this officer, man. Check this out. She sent me some pictures. You know what I mean? She coming to see me. She about to come. Well, she had already came to see me then. And she was, no, I tell you what, she didn't come see me at that time. But I'm like, hey, she going to come and see me. Go some photos, this and this. And one of the inmates there, you always got, when you're on a plantation, you always got one of the slaves going to go tell the other one. He trying to do something that he feels he can't do. So that's what happened. Somebody told him, oh man, he got this officer, this and this. And so I don't know which one of my homies told it, but I only told a few. So it was only a handful that could have said something, because I really didn't show it with nobody. You know what I mean? Share it with nobody. So during this time, I heard that the police was coming down to come shake me down. And at that time, Jason Baldwin was in the pod with me, and he had a female friend at the time named Sarah, and my girl name was Sarah. So I said, hey man, get these letters, hold these pictures, hold this for me, he's gonna come shake me down. So he was like, cool. He got them, put them in his stuff. They shook me down, looked for tearing up stuff. Couldn't find them, family. They were mad. They locked me up anyway, though. They put my ass in the hole. I stayed in there for a week. And I didn't know when they was gonna let me out. I ain't had no charges or nothing. They just locked me up because, I was messing with an officer. But at this time, she had already quit, family. But they didn't know this. So after about a week, the captain, I can't remember his name, but he reminded me of one of the Proud Boys. You know how they look with the haircut and all straight like they military, said military, military mind, like this is why this dude, I can't make it up. He reminded me of one of them. But I remember he called me down into the office. He said, Mr. Brown, he said, if I can't look at myself in the mirror and inspect myself every day before I come to work, I can't come to work. And I was like, yeah. He said, so I got to let you go because the officer that you was actually talking to, she's no longer employed here, haven't been in a while. So there's actually no foul play, nothing we can do about it. So we're going to let you go. That's exactly what he said. Let me go, family. And she ended up coming to see me more, and we was visiting on at that unit. Then I ended up getting transferred to another unit. She was coming down there, and then, she was visiting me. So the relationship actually ended up turning out pretty cool. Like, she was a real, real good pen pal. So my oldest daughter, not my oldest daughter, but my middle daughter that's 15, she was like prepared. Like, we was really preparing for it. We was making plans to have her. So, that relationship to me was one of the real relationships I had, even though it was a police officer and I was incarcerated, and I ended up, forming a relationship, because a lot of people that's incarcerated don't get those opportunities, or, not man enough, I guess, or bold enough to just speak out and try to create an opportunity. I have always created opportunities, and I've always too, now that I think about it, I've always been cool with females, as far as, growing up, like friends, they was always cool with me. So it was easy for me to talk. I never been afraid to hold a conversation. And I guess, what's in you gonna always come out of you. So while I was in prison, like I say, I did meet an officer. I did have sex to an officer while I was in prison too. You know what I mean? Like, in prison, in the dry storage in the prison. I never forget certain things you think about. You were like, man, stuff that you did. And it's not to boast of it at all, family. I'm just really sharing the story because some of the things that I encountered while I was there that I know, made me feel like, now that I think about it, that I know I wasn't average even then with some of the things that I did while I was in there. So, I did get married to a police officer while I was in prison. I had sex to a police officer while I was in prison. You know what I'm saying? And I also, got a chance to make some money, and I got a chance to do some things, gain my trade. That's why I went to Votech. and I did 14 months to become a combination welder. I went to small business management. I got my GED. All of these things I did in prison during a 10-year stretch, family, from the age of 16 to 26. So I met her at 19, and she actually rolled it out with me, family, from 19 till I got out. And we're not married now, but we are still friends. We are still good friends. We talk, we conversate, check on one another. I got a baby by her. You know what I mean? Things didn't work out, but we are still cool. We staying connected. And, to be honest with you, my goal was to have my last 2 kids by her. Like, I didn't want to spread them out. You know what I mean? I wanted to have my last 2 kids by one person and deal with her. And honestly, just to be honest with you, as a man, I'd have less headaches today if my son would have been by her and not by, his mom. Because it wasn't planned like that. You know what I mean? But I am thankful for my baby, but it wasn't planned. I really wanted my daughter and my son to be by her. Because my daughter's name is Amaris. And my son's name was going to be Amari. So if he would have been born first, it would have been Amari. But she was born first, so we named him Amaris, and then we was going to have Amari. But we wanted to put a little time between them, So, because she had a little complications when she had Amaris, so we going to put a little time between it, a couple of years, and then we'll do it. But we never got a chance to do it. By the time that happened, we end up separating and getting someone else pregnant and divorcing. But we're still good friends to this day. But I went through a lot, in that time, during that 10 years. I can't say that it was an easy stretch because I'll be lying to you. But I can be honest with you and tell you this. While I was down there, I didn't get involved in any homosexual activities. I did get involved in some gang banging and some fighting and some stabbings and, just hustling, just trying to maintain. But, I didn't let that culture mold me. I didn't become institutionalized in that standpoint. But, doing time in a cell like that over time, it's going to affect you. And being free now, I can see how the time has affected me, like with the way I'm still secluded. Like, I don't really mingle with a lot, only because I got to mingle around people I know that got my back, in the foxhole with a tight situation. I just can't hang out with random people because I know how the situation go, So if I know a person at 100 with me, I can't, like being in the crowd, going out, saying what's up, that's one thing. But as far as me hanging with someone, I can only hang with someone when we see eye to eye, and it's not about the economics, but if you hanging with someone and y'all networking, y'all both should be getting some money. Y'all both should be on something positive. Y'all both should be shining y'all knives up together. So, being back in my hometown, I'm a little isolated, you know what I mean? And I get it because the time I did, the mentality, me willing to travel, me willing to think outside the box and just do whatever it takes to make things happen. I'm in a way, I feel like I'm a rare breed, one of the last breeds, I would say, because there's many of us out here like this. But, I'm here and, it's been a little solo for me. I ain't gonna say things been hard, but I have, I had to learn that it's all up to me. It's all up to me, no matter how it end up. I got to be the one to initiate things and make things happen. And the reason I'm sharing this story, because, it's part of my blog, it's part of my life history, as for when people learn more about me and where I come from and what I've been through, to be realistic about the things you face. I think that's how we really help our kids, and we help those who coming up before, not to just glorify it or to make it seem like, oh, you was this extreme headliner pimp, you know what I'm saying? But then, you had experiences like everyone else. So I don't like to make my experiences no bigger than what they are. They are what they are. And I can share, what I learned from those experiences with someone that might be in there, someone that might be going through something. And I'm not telling no one to go through this just so you can experience this. Nah, that'd be foolish. While I was there, I did what it took, family. You know what I mean? I had to survive, and by whatever means necessary, I was willing to survive. So I did have a child by Arkansas Department of Correctional officer. You know what I'm saying? I did have a relationship with one. I did get married to one. We're not married now, but we're still good friends. And she was a great pen pal. Like, I gotta say, like, anyone that shows you that type of time that make that type of sacrifice for you. You know, it's some love there. You know what I mean? And it don't have to be physical, because physical didn't have nothing to do with it. You know what I'm saying? When you incarcerated like that. So sometimes we meet good friends, man. We meet good people, different ways, different walks in life. And I had a few of my followers ask me about my relationship with my daughter's mom, and how was it, or how did the situation come about? And that's pretty much in a nutshell, family, how it happened. I was in prison. I was working as a custodian, so to speak, for the infirmary. And I ran across someone and I shot my shot, and then it went from there. So I must be honest and just say that, everything that I have accomplished up to this point in my life, I was determined. And the more I think about certain things that I go through now in life, I got to realize that I got to stay determined. I got to be willing to do whatever it takes, because I can't expect someone else to do what I have to do. And I think that's what we tend to do when we're dealing with business, when we're dealing with some of our goals. Sometimes we want other people to support us and be involved with what we got going on. But the truth be told, family, sometimes God would send you a complete stranger, someone you don't know you, but know your heart. And that might be the person to help bring you out and you stay connected. It is what it is. So, I'm humbled to say that I know I wasn't alone when I did that time. I know God blessed me. And I'm humbled to say I still have a friend, and I have a beautiful daughter from that relationship. Like, my daughter is very, very smart, and I believe she's going to do great things, not just for our family, but for humanity, because she got a heart for her people. So I know she's going to help our Black people, and she's going to be able to cross gaps and help people, period. You know what I mean? But I believe that she was meant to be. I believe that she was meant to be to do some great things and some communities and some lives and some other people's lives. I think she's going to do some great things. And it was because of that relationship. Sometimes things happen, we don't understand why they happen. We just like, you might conjure up an idea, but to be honest with you, sometimes you have to humble yourself. It's like, you know what, certain things are meant to be, certain things happen for a reason, and we might not understand them. But when it's all said and done, it will reveal itself. So I just wanted to share some of my story with you. Hope everybody have a blessed and prosperous day. Be blessed. Keep doing your thing. Keep getting your hog on.